Hello and welcome to my studio journal. Now back in 2022, I started to redesign my home studio, shifting from software to hardware for the first time. What began as a few videos for some curious students soon became an ongoing unfiltered record. So today is a little different. This is day 12 and we're going to try something. Synth wall takedown. Yes, I'm going to take out the drum set and I'm going to rewire that entire back wall because I think that could be what's causing some of the interference that I'm getting in the cables. Plus I realized that I wired in all the shelves, which wasn't giving me quick access to the water panel behind it. So I'm just going to redo that whole wall. Reroute the audio and the power in different areas, and hopefully we'll see if that solves the problem. So this is the main desk. You can see where all the audio is routed at the back of the desk, and all the power cords and everything like that are at the center in this tray right here. So I'd like to try and do that. I didn't do that with the secondary desk. I would like to do that with the secondary desk as well as the back wall, and I just hadn't done it. So here we are, day 12, and it feels like starting all over again. This wall's being emptied back here. I just need to remove the mixer, the power conditioner, and the patch bay, and then it's right empty again. That has to do with the fact I didn't have a plan. What contributed to the lack of plan was the fact that I didn't have two power conditioners before, now I do. I didn't have a patch bay, now I do. I didn't have a compressor, now I do. And that meant I need to have a second audio interface, which I still haven't set up yet or even opened the box to. So that's 5 extra components that I didn't have and didn't plan for and tried to insert into a system that I already was a little sketchy on. I wasn't quite sure of how it was going to work. Because I started adding all these extra things, I didn't have a clear map for where I was going to run the power over there and where I was going to run the audio. And really your power should run separately from your audio. The two shouldn't be mixed up. So the power cords are right next to some of the audio sources. So I'm going to try and change that up. And hopefully that will clean up the signal a little bit. It may or may not. I really don't know yet. So this is the reason that I'm trying to go over this a little bit more. Like if you see that power cord right there that's in those clips on that board, well, that happens to be running right beside, or I should say I just took out the audio cable from the exact clip from the Korg. So the thing is, I had the Korg and the power cable for the Roland FA running down the same set of clips. You may notice that the desk behind me as well, it's kind of stripped bare again. It all started when I pulled out the piano earlier to check something, and I realized the piano cord was going behind the cords for the lights. The piano is something I would pull out, which means that its cord shouldn't be tucked in behind all the other cords, so everything should be layered in the order that you'd pull it out by. Then I thought, well, okay, if I made that same mistake over at the piano, then I thought, well, what sort of mistakes did I make over here on this desk the same way? Because as I was feeding things through, I didn't really have an order in which I fed things through. What I did this time is I hooked up everything that has a power cable. But the idea is that I'm hooking up all the power sources first, so I know for sure I can run the audio cable second. So I've reorganized everything and everything's a lot better, I think. The cords that are going from those monitor stands to the next monitor stands, that's all audio cables. So they are separated as far as I'm going to separate them. So under the desk, here's how I have things separated. This is actually the power cord for the monitors up top. This is the power cable for the machine. Plus, everything that's in the tray is like the power adapter for the USB hub, all non-audio USB, and power cables. That's about as best as I can get. And of course, like this cord that's really close right here, well, that's the audio cable. It runs from one monitor stand to the next across the bottom of the desk. My shirt's a bit of a mess, but what do you expect from crawling around on the floor? I ordered more of these clips. Those should be coming tomorrow. This desk is much more organized now. The next thing to work on, though, is this desk over here. And that's going to be a bit of a problem. I'm trying to get all of the cords off the floor, and this was so much easier when I said, you know what, I'm going to run all the power first. Then I'm going to run all audio separately. Had I thought of doing that originally, well, then everything would have turned out fine. But I didn't, and therefore that's why I'm redoing it today. So now both of these walls, the piano wall and the main production desk wall, have been done. Now it's off to the second production desk to see how that turns out. If you'd like to follow the full journey, check out my online studio journal linked in the description. Until next time, I'm just a music teacher having fun. Catch you on the next one.